All right, guys, we're going in the gate here. You see Chess Chief and Keep Me in Mind heading in for the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Second straight year now held at Saratoga. Mile and a quarter Breeders' Cup winning year in for the Classic. Mike Somich, who's your pick?
I went with Olympiad here. I don't love the 8-5 price, but I don't really like anything else in here. I think this is kind of a lot of also rans. The big question around Olympiad, can he get the distance? We're about to find out.
Jared, you're on the 5 American Revolution. I'm with 6 First Captain. All right, good break there for about everybody. Tax was acting up in the gate a little bit, but it's good to see he's relaxed. And Mike, you kind of said he could go gate to wire here. Are you surprised to see him on the lead at all?
If I was playing 3 horses in here, I would have played Tax would have been included because he has won at this track before, 2 races, 1 first, 1 second. Good distance for him, second off a layoff. You could see him run a big race here. Don't love that he's like 3 wide there for no good reason. But you knew he was going to be controlling speed in this spot.
The First Captain quite wide, even wider than American Revolution, Jared.
Yeah, I like the fact that where these horses are placed. I like to see Rosario. Maybe he can redeem himself here, but he's tracking that too very closely. It really comes down. This race comes down to what is the Olympiad, because you're right. I mean, he dusted these horses prior to the Whitney. You know, American Revolution's been a horse that's kind of gotten better with each start this year. This seems like the race that he could pop. So I think he's in a great position. It's really going to come down to who wants it most here out of these two, because they're really tracking up next to each other.
Yeah, they're not going very fast either. 49 and 3 to the half. So not exactly flying up front for Tax. It's going to be tough for anyone to come from the back and close. It looks like Olympiad's starting to get asked here. He's not really answering the question.
Yeah, that's the fear, right? Is he what was taken out of him in that Whitney? Kind of got his life taken out of him a little bit. Let's see.
It feels like Rosario's waiting to press the go on American Revolution.
Well, he can just wait as long as he wants.
We know that, right? It's going to be between these two. Who's the 3 that just cut
untreated? He's all over the place.
Yeah, this is like a cookie. Well, hang on.
No,
you'll keep him away. Yeah, this is pretty much like another running of the race prior to the Whitney, right? I mean, very similar to the Stephen Foster, where American Revolution. I mean, American Revolution ran a great race in Stephen Foster. He ran a great race again today. Olympiad's just better than he is.
Well, you're not going to beat a better horse with a worse trip. And, we knocked Rosario last time for staying on the rail the whole time. Well, this time he went 4 wide, 3 wide around the 2 turns with a better horse that was 1 path inside of him both turns. It's not a great position to be in there on the 5. This thing goes 2-5-6, I believe. So pretty easy try if you want to play it cold there. Olympiad looked good here, but I can't. I mean, Magic, do you think any questions were answered? Do you think that you firmly believe in Olympiad getting a mile and a quarter here going into the Classic?
No, I mean, even going into the Whitney, I had a feeling that Olympiad was just maybe a tiny cut below the top horses in the group. And the way he ran, it was a great effort. He finally got his grade 1 win, right? We can talk about that. But no, I still think it answered more questions about the rest of the field. First Captain could barely get 3rd. American Revolution is only good enough to be behind Olympiad. So, I think we're looking at probably the bottom half of your top 10 of the Breeders' Cup Classic ranking. Still great horses. You love to own them. Just when we get to the big race, I keep looking at final time, and I know you can't perfectly compare day by day because of the track and how they change, but Epicenter ran a mile and a quarter, a second and a half faster than this in the Traverse Stakes.
I love that you'd love to own a horse that runs first or second in $1 million race, Magic. I would agree with you on that one. I would love to own one of these as well. This time isn't great, but they also didn't go that fast early, right? I think, honestly, that hinders American Revolution a little bit. If there was more pace, I think it would have set up better for American Revolution. In this case, you have to try and beat Olympiad, who's a superior animal, running outside of him. It's not easy to do. So the nice part about the Breeders' Cup Classic is, like, depending on what Flightline does later today, you should have Life is Good. You should have Flightline. There's going to be pace there. It could set up for some of these horses to get better trips or better chance to be able to run into that versus just having to be the best horse on that day.
It's kind of funny that, now this is the next race after the Rosario fuck up. You got you get Bill Mott winning the next race, beating Rosario, who got second. Kind of like, hey, that's how you ride a horse. But no, I I think I kind of view this race as, and we talked a lot about this all week and on Blinkers Off. It's like, this is the appetizer, and we're gonna get the meal later, and we're gonna see Flightline, and he's gonna dictate a lot of things. If he goes in blazes, I mean, forget it. Olympiad's not even in the conversation. If he falters, all of a sudden Olympiad, I think, is really back in the game. I think I don't know that he can win, but he's certainly. I honestly think the first two, maybe even first three here, top three, are all classic type horses. It's just a matter of, can Olympiad actually win the thing, or is he just like going to be like an also ran? Because if Flightline's in the race, we know Life is Good can dust him. All of a sudden, Epicenter, can he actually do any damage in the Breeders' Cup Classic? Because I think he's a good horse, but I was wrong in this race. I thought he might kind of be gassed after that Whitney, but he proved me wrong. He looked good today.
Yeah, as someone who bet him to win here, I cannot wait to not put a single dollar on him the rest of the year. I'm looking forward to fading this horse, and I'm hoping that this makes him get money bet on him in the Classic, because this race is a cut below what it's going to take to get the job done when we're at Keeneland. And I would happily allow people to bet Olympiad so that I get a better price on any of the set of horses that I think have a legit shot. I mean, this feels a cut below what you need to beat. It's just that simple. And Olympiad had one shot at the big time, and he got dusted. So I'm not going to take this effort and now allow him to kind of be in the conversation again, in my mind.
I think one thing's for sure, it's great when good people in the sport like Bill Mott, Junior Alvarado, they get the grade 1 win. Olympiad is now 8 for 12, and this is his first grade 1, so it's great to see him get that. Should put him right at about $2 million in earnings. L&J Foxwoods, they do a lot of good things for the sport. So a nice way to kind of wrap up this race, but make sure you tune back into racingdudes.com and youtube.com/racingdudes. The Flightline Pacific Classic, that's coming later tonight. Like they said, this was the appetizer. Get ready for the main meal later tonight. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you at the track.